So I'm back with another book review, Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. This one really puts away the lightheart kid feel of the series. Coming off the last book, I was very excited. With Voldemort coming back, I was very excited to see where the story would be pushed to. He immediately gave it a very dark and depressing feel. And Harry is very agitated throughout this book, feeling like everything and everyone is up against him. This is where I've seen most of the complaints stem from about this book. Because at times, Harry will just lash out on random people, especially like Ron and Hermione, where it does feel like a little too much. So I do agree to an extent. At the end of the day, it really makes sense to me because he's a teenage boy with the whole world against him. Not the whole world, but pretty much the whole world is calling him a liar and calling him this, saying that, and the spotlight is brighter than it's ever been on him. So it's not really that much out of character. It's kind of just reasonable. Now, the themes of this book were very good and relevant, especially the first one, The Power of Unity. This book really pushes the idea of how strong and powerful unity can be and how it can get you through the dark times. Right from the beginning, the Sorting Hat is a new song telling all the students that you guys got to unite or you will crumble within. It's really interesting seeing the Sorting Hat like this, and it shows that it's not really a robot. It has feelings and thoughts. It's really conflicted. It did not want to sort the kids, but it was obligated to. And I found that very interesting. It makes me wonder how it was created. Is it somebody's conscious or whatever? And it's just interesting. It's very interesting. Then that same theme is pushed still along with the whole DA group, the Dumbledore's army coming together. It's the kids all coming together against Umbridge and her strict rules in the ministry. And then finally at the end, Harry and a group of kids coming together and fighting off those Death Eaters. I mean, this whole book just preached that idea and showcased it. The next theme that was really prevalent throughout the book too was how power can corrupt people. When you look at Fudge, he becomes so scared to lose the power he has that he becomes delusional and starts ignoring blatant facts. And on the other hand, with Umbridge, she's just so power hungry, craving for that power, that she does not care who she hurts or who gets in front of her. She will take him down, and she does not care about anybody but herself. What a character. He is just terrible. Terrible. I thought Lockhart was bad, but he was just annoying. Umbridge is just cruel. And when you speak about Lockhart, I actually felt bad for him in this book. We find out that he's still in St. Mugos because he's still whacked out of his mind. I honestly thought at the end it would be revealed that Fudge and Umbridge were somehow linked with Voldemort or helping him out. Just the cruelty of the detentions is something like on the level of what Voldemort would do. Moving on from those themes and those bad characters, I really enjoyed and loved how this book brought up a lot of the other side characters other than Harry, Ron, and Hermione. It was great. It highlighted a lot of them. Characters like George and Fred. Where would this book be without George and Fred? This book would have no humor. None. I really enjoyed their arc with them testing all their new ideas on the classmates and then finally leaving Hogwarts and sticking it to Umbridge. I mean, one of the best scenes ever. And then you have the teachers not even helping whatsoever, which was great. These two were definitely highlight characters and had some spotlight in this book. Now, another character that was showcased throughout this book and is really jumping up on my favorites list is Neville. Man, he has such a sad story. But he also had so many great triumphs in this book. I really hope that the future books just don't shove him to the side and explore more into this character. Ginny and Luna were also very interesting and showcased in this book. I didn't really see Ginny being this involved in the future books after the second book. I thought that was going to be her shining moment. And after, she would kind of just get kicked to the side and she'd kind of just be a little side character. But no, she's very important and relevant in these type of books. And it's great. Now, lastly, with Luna, she was very strange, but very interesting. Very strange in where she would always pop up when something important was going on, and she would be mumbling something and kind of distracted, but always know stuff. It was just very strange. And for some reason, she's going to be very important or have a key detail in these future upcoming last two books. At the end of the book, her and Harry having this conversation where it almost feels like giving off couple vibes. Now, after all those side characters and stuff, there was actually even more just interesting world building and history in this whole entire book. One thing that was very interesting was Harry and Snape's occlumency lessons. It was very interesting seeing a little bit of Snape's backstory with James, Lupin, and Sirius, and seeing that relationship. And it was also very interesting how it played out the idea of how Snape and Sirius are very similar in where they're pushing their feelings that they had for James onto Harry, all while showing the hate they have for each other, but they do have some similarities. Also, I could be totally wrong about this, but there was moments where it actually felt like Snape was kind of warming up to Harry a little bit. I don't know, I could be off, but he actually felt like he was kind of being helpful for him. Look at the ending when Dumbledore explains to Harry about how Snape actually alerted the Order and actually went looking out for Harry. I mean, that actually shows that he actually somewhat cared about him if he's going to go look out for him in the forest. Did he even really look out for him or not? Is he just saying that, or Dumbledore thinks that? Snape is a very well-written character, and where I'm very interested to see where these last two books take him. Hagrid's arc was a little disappointing in my opinion. We got all of this talk that he was on this side mission, this very important side mission, but then it just turned out to be that he just had some giant in the forest. I mean, Grawp might be very pivotal in the next story or in the last book, but he really wasn't in this book, and it was kind of disappointing. Now, as I've touched on, all these character developments and all these interesting moments and highlighted characters were fun and very interesting, but like I said in the intro, this book was very depressing and dark. This book, arguably, in my opinion, has the saddest moment in the series by far with Sirius, and especially it pushes on the heartstrings with the ending when Harry opens up his gift and finds out what it was, and then you're left there thinking, oh, what could have happened and what could have been, and really makes that part very devastating. And overall, there was many more sad and dark moments throughout this book that really makes it the darkest one in the series. Now, to really wrap this all up, I'm going to touch on the ending real quick. The ending was very good, and I really enjoyed it. And it was a good, heartfelt moment with the whole Order coming together and warning the Dursleys, hey, not to mess with Harry. And really wrapped up this book nicely. Now, to really wrap up this review / discussion / really trash video, I'm going to do something new and do predictions and where I think the story will head to on these final two books. I have really no idea, but I have some guesses and some thoughts where some characters might go. With Harry, I think he's going to have another loss to deal with, which could be Hagrid, Dumbledore, one of his friends. I don't know. It just really feels like this story's pushing it to this way of this dark, sad feel, and he's going to have another loss and really complete the hero's journey. And then battle out with Voldemort. This whole story is about their connection, and it's just been teasing, and especially with that prophecy thing, it's definitely something's brewing down the line. Speaking of the hero's journey, Dumbledore has got to be a goner soon. It just feels like it for me. He's like the Obi-Wan for Harry, and it really feels like something sad and bad's going to happen. I feel like Ron and Hermione are going to get together. There have been so many hints and so many weird, they both get jealous over each other and always arguing and stuff. It just feels like that's going to happen. In terms of the story, I really feel like the story in the series is really coming to an end, but there's 2 other books left, so I really don't know. I mean, Harry might have another villain to face or something, or a little bit of final training that he has to do in this next upcoming book. Then a final battle, what you could say, in the final book. Now, before I end it real quick, the top quotes I got: indifference and neglect often do much more damage than outright dislike. Next one: things we lose have a way of coming back to us in the end, if not always in the way we expect. Maybe a little bit of foreshadowing with Sirius. I don't know, Sirius might come back or something, Harry's parents, something, in some sort of way. Overall, I really enjoyed this book, and it's up there for my top 1. And it's crazy. Looking at it 5 books in and making review videos about the series, I really didn't think I would be enjoying the series as much as I am. And I really start to see now why there's such a big following behind it. It's a great series. And thank you for watching, and if you've made it this far, comment down below. What was your highlight moments in this book? Was this one of your favorite books? Or did you really have a problem with Harry's agitation, his mood throughout this book? Thank you for watching. Peace.